Right, buddy, these are the 5 things to expect from Manchester United's home game against Brighton. We'll be talking about the predicted team, threats from both teams, what I expect from the game, the result, and kind of giving you another overview of the game. So let's get straight into it. Listen, the first thing to expect is changes. Ruben Amorim's team, obviously, on Manchester United beat Southampton 3-1, but it wasn't the most convincing performance. And I think 100% there has to be changes from the game. It was a performance that lacked quality, intensity, and there's changes that has to be made. I think defensively there will be. I think Yoro will come out. I think Dalot will come back in. I think Maguire will come in for Yoro. Ahmad will move through the forward and Dalot will come into the defence. Onana will stay in goal. I think Yoro massively struggled against Lamana. He's still a young kid. He's still got a lot of time ahead of him. But again, he probably wouldn't have started this game anyway, even if he did play well against Southampton. Amorim does like rotation, and I think he will be rotated again. So, yeah, that's who I go with in goal. And that is my back five. Now, in midfield, do you start Collier? I mean, that is kind of the biggest one for me. I don't think he's quite ready for a start yet. Ugarte came off in the 50-something or 46th minute. Or Clubimini came off in the 46th minute. I think Ugarte was like 55 or something like that. So they did get a bit of rest in them. They were obviously knackered from the game against Arsenal. Ugarte played 91 minutes of that game. Mainly about 80, so they are playing a lot of games, but that is Amorim's strongest team. Amorim has talked about how Ugarte needs to get used to playing a game every 3 days. So I think he's someone who's absolutely key. Manu, again, he's still finding it. And again, listen, we don't really have that much midfield depth, and that's why we are really relying on Manu and Ugarte at the current moment, because the quality just isn't there. Collier is that. Ericsson, I don't think you can have him in this game, where he's really intense. Brighton have lots of legs in midfield. So I think it will be Manu and Ugarte again. They got overrun against Southampton. Let's hope they can have a more controlled game against Brighton. Now, 2 inside forwards for me, it has to be Ahmad, Bruno. I'm going to put Masraoui in the right wing back, Dalot left wing back, and because Matoma is their biggest threat really, so I think it'd be Ahmad and Bruno. I think they are our best players in terms of creating chances. Ahmad, we don't know if he's going to start. He was absolutely knackered after the game. You could see Ahmad drop to the bench, which I don't want to see happen. Ahmad should be one of the first names on the team sheet, but I do understand if you need to rest and rotate, you could see Ahmad on the bench for this game. Why not start him though? After that performance, he can only build on it like a great hat-trick. I think Brighton is certainly there for the taking. I remember when we played him last time, I think he scored a goal, or it was a deflection. He had a very good game, so why not put Ahmad in the team? I think he deserves a performance and deserves to start after that game against Southampton. Bruno, we know he's going to start. His performance and his quality is needed. Let's see what he can do. Then through the middle, ZIRKZEE. I think ZIRKZEE is a player who has to start this game. This is a big decision for him. He must not start as HOJLUND for me. I think HOJLUND's performance against Southampton and against Arsenal wasn't great, and you can see in those 2 cameos that ZIRKZEE's had it fantastic. But what you want to see from ZIRKZEE, you want to see him improve on this. You want to see him go to another strength, improve on the performance which he had against Arsenal, which he had against Southampton, because he was very good. He was dropping deep, linking play, holding up play. He had a very, very sharp performance. So, yeah, I think doing that will be absolutely essential for Manchester United. So that would be my team. I think it's going to be a strong team again. We're at home. We should be able to go for this win. Now, the second thing, let's talk about United's threat. I think United's threat is obvious. It's Ahmad and Bruno. And I think ZIRKZEE actually can be a threat. I think him holding up the play, getting other players into it, runners in behind, is absolutely key. Brighton are decent. They're a very good side. Huxley's got on playing some very good football. I think they're 9th in the league. If we can win this game, we're going to go 2 points behind them. It is going to be a very difficult game. Brighton are a top side, but I think United will create chances. And listen, there just needs to be a lot more enthusiasm, a lot more energy inserted into this game, because there was just nothing against Southampton really in that forward line. We didn't create many chances, and Southampton, the big issue was Southampton brought the game to us. We didn't take the game to them. They were pressing, they were pinning us back, keeping us in a back five, and that was ultimately the biggest thing. In the Amorim system, we need to get the full-backs high, and I think that's what we need to try and do with Dalot and Masraoui. Keep them high. Matoma and Dingra are very, very good wingers. And we need to keep them high. Set pieces, again, we need to build clinical from them. But yeah, let's see what happens now. The third thing is Brighton's threat. Listen, they're a team who are on form. For me, their whole attack is fantastic. Matoma, Adingra, Welbeck, and João Pedro, very, very good players, and they can cause issues. They're very powerful through midfield, and I think when we haven't beaten Brighton in a long time, and when I think it was last season at home they beat us. Like, they are a very good side, and they've got powerful runners from midfield. They've beaten City this season. There's a lot of hope because we're at home, and that should give us a bit of confidence. But even the fans are getting frustrated. We're not doing enough in the games. And I think that would be a huge worry if I was Ruben Amorim. The fact that Manchester United are not doing anything in these games in the attacking department. And I think overrunning midfield, you need the support from the defence. João Pedro is a very tricky player. You can drift out and you have to watch him. Matoma is very, very good. That's why I'm putting Mazraoui out there. And Adingra, he's very, very quick. So yeah, Delo's going to have a job on his hands. Another big threat for them is Belieber in midfield. He's absolutely fantastic. He's only, 20 or 21. He is an unreal player and someone Manchester United definitely must look out for. Now, the fourth thing to expect, Amorim's challenge. This game is a big challenge for Amorim. We're currently, I believe, 12th in the league. We got a win against Southampton, but it wasn't convincing. Amorim talked about how he's going to learn a lot about his players from that game. And I think he is. The fact that Manchester United they're nowhere near good enough in the big games. I'm sorry, we play good in the big games. When it comes down to the Southamptons, these sorts of games, we do struggle. And I think this is another game where Brighton are, I'm not going to say that they're for the taking because they are a very good team. They haven't actually, before the Ipswich game, they won 2-0 in the league. They haven't won quite in a long time, so we can definitely get at them. Listen, United are at home. You want to see us go for it. And I think Amorim will put out a statement with the side. Then there will be huge rotations. As I said, De has to come in. Now, the fifth and final thing, the result. I'm going to go 2-2. I think it's going to be a draw. I think Brighton can score goals. I think United will do enough to get the win. But I'm hoping we can come away with a good performance. And that is the biggest thing to take. Obviously, Amorim talked about how if you win games, that obviously gives you more time. And that's ultimately what he's trying to do. He's had 7 training sessions in 15 games or something like that. So he hasn't even had enough time on the training pitch. And I think as that training time comes, United in performances will improve. It's just a bit of time needed. And I think we have to be patient. Listen, it's still going to be an up and down season. He talked about that a lot in his press conference. We're still going to have wins. We're still going to have losses. But I think the real business and the real future with Amorim starts next season. This not saying this season's a write-off. We've got Europa League. We're still in the FA Cup. There's opportunities there for Manchester United. I'm hoping we can get a trophy this season. But in terms against Brighton, looking at this game, I think the result will be a draw. I think we do need a win. Where we currently are on the table, it's not good. And I think Brighton will certainly look at this as a huge opportunity. They fancy any game against United. I remember they beat us 4-0 at the Amex once. They beat us this season already 2-1 when ZIRKZEE had that goal, which he touched on, it was offside. I remember Ten Hag's first game, they beat us 2-1. They are a very good side, and under their new manager, they're doing a fantastic job at the minute, so we must be careful of them. Their whole around team, Van Hecke, I really like him. I think he's a decent centre-back. Estupinian, they've just got a very good side, and a team that works hard, team that plays some very good possession. They average around 54% possession per game. But listen, you want to see United get control, get control, keep the tempo of the game, and ultimately take the game to Brighton. You want to be on the front foot, high press, energy. At most of the game when I was watching against Southampton, you could see so Ahmad would go to press, but Mazraoui wouldn't follow him, Garnacho would go and press, but Ahmad wouldn't follow on the left. It would be Bruno goes to press, but Mazraoui's not following him because he was so pinned back, and they were the larger spaces. So the main thing about pressing, if you're going to press, you all have to press, and that's something that Ruben Amorim needs to instill into this team. But listen, that has been the preview of the 5 things to expect. Let me know your thoughts. I've gone for a draw. I've talked about my team, the tactics, what to expect from Manchester United. So let's see what happens. Like and subscribe. And yeah, listen, it's a very, very important game. Leave your score prediction, your teams, your predictions. Obviously, we've got some big games coming up. We play Brighton, Rangers, Fulham, and then I think we've got FCSB, and we've got big games coming up in the Europa League as well in the league. Obviously, FA Cup 4th round, the date has been confirmed for that. So let's see what happens. Thank you for watching. Hope you did enjoy. There have been the 5 things to expect from Manchester United's game at home to Brighton. Thanks for watching.